This episode has been brought to you by Manscaped. The new Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra is every man's cheat code to look good, feel good, and turn the page on confidence this year. Go to manscaped.com, use the code GOLTS20 for 20% off plus free shipping today. This week on the Heart of the Gulch YouTube show, we sit down with musician/songwriter Shantaia. In today's Walk the Line episode, Shantaia gives us an amazing performance of her latest single, Faster Horses. Let's check out the episode. We are in the Heart of the Gulch. I'm your host, Tony Mendoza, and today I'm very excited for my guest. I guarantee you she has faster horses than you, and what I wouldn't do is try to race her. We got the one and only Shantaia in the building.
Hey, Tony, that was so great.
Oh, thank you. Speaking of which, first of all, 2025, you've had one heck of a start of the year.
Yeah.
Talk to me about Faster Horses.
Yeah, so Faster Horses came to be. I wrote it with Jesse Pugh and Mike Davis. They became really good friends of mine. Neither of them were really into horses. So it was interesting bringing this idea to them because they were like, wow, we don't really know what we're talking about, but we'll try. And it flowed and just came out so easily. I grew up riding horses. I have a horse, so it's very real for me and authentic for me. My brothers had Mustang cars growing up, and I really wanted a Mustang. I was bugging my dad for years. I turned 15, and my dad kept being like, "That's not a safe car for a girl."
It's not.
I was so mad, but then I just kind of was like, "That's okay. I have faster horses anyways." So.
I like what you did there. Okay, so speaking of Canada, I'm not going to even try to butcher where you're from. Please let them know where you're from.
Saskatchewan, Canada. I'm not even going to get into the tiny town that I'm from because that's in the middle of nowhere.
Speaking of which, Canada, did you actually see the U.S. play Canada in hockey?
Well, I didn't watch it in real time, but I'm going tonight.
Really?
We're gonna go watch at Almost Fridays and get all the Canadians together and band together. But
Dude, I love it. So I was surprised that there were so many fights so early.
what was it? 3 seconds in?
9 seconds in,
9 seconds?
3 fights.
3 fights. Crazy.
I don't even understand where the hatred came from, though.
I mean, it's just always that rivalry, I think. I don't know. And they're all coming from NHL teams, so they've got that pre-existing rivalry.
Talk to me about, your love for horses.
Yeah, it started at a really young age. My grandma and grandpa lived on a farm and had horses and cows. And when I was about 4, my grandpa he had a horse on the farm named Prince. And he was a thoroughbred quarter horse that really wasn't rideable. Like I think a few people had tried, and he was not a very, very good horse.
You have to break horses in, right?
Yeah.
Like a boot.
You got to train them. You got to, and if they're really broke or green broke, they call it, and so he was green broke. But he just had a love for me, this horse. Like I would be calling him in from the pasture and he'd come running and hang his head low, and I'd wrap my hands around his head, and nobody even seen him act like that before with anyone else. But then my grandpa sold him on me randomly, sent him to some cowboy to do pasture work and didn't tell me. And then he said, but here's the $800 I got from this horse. You can buy yourself a horse that you can ride.
That was it? Just $800?
Back then, that was quite a bit,
That's
honestly, So, so I did that. I saved that money and was given a horse when I was about probably 5 or 6. Her name was Kira. And I rode that horse. I chased cows. My grandpa and my uncles, they'd be on quads, and my friend Deb and I would be chasing cows on horseback, going through the bushes, bringing these cows back. I was raised a cowgirl.
Dude, first of all, that's rare for people in Nashville.
Yeah.
For some reason, everyone in Nashville, Tennessee, as much as we say that we are cowboys, cowgirls, a lot of them never rode a horse.
Yeah, truly.
Which I find that very crazy to me because I'm from South Texas. In South Texas, riding horses is actually a really common thing.
Did you ride?
Hell no. I'm scared of them. I was going to press the applause there. I didn't want to. I'm a little scared of horses because it is a huge animal.
Yeah.
It's a strong animal. It needs to be respected. So, speaking of horses, talk to me about the riding process with faster horses?
I will say, like, I think I was kind of talking a lot about like, oh, this is the terminology, like this is what you would say, and they'd be like, is that a thing or is that not a thing? And I'm like, no, you would say that, like, you know, we're talking about like spurs and the reins and like things like that. And so you kind of like, I was trying to like teach and educate. And then for the content shoot that we did, I had just brought my horse down from Canada, who was a horse that my grandpa bought, and then he passed away 6 months later. So it's like bringing a piece of my grandpa down here.
Wow.
Yeah, it's been amazing. And we did this content shoot.
Is that the one that you've been promoting lately? Dude, first of all, whoever shot that was awesome because I love the way it looks.
Yeah, Headwater Entertainment. So Andrew crushed it. Definitely was like, I always have these crazy visions, and he is able to see them and capture them. So and bring them to life for me, because I'm not a cameraman or you know. But I do like to pride myself in having a cool vision and finding somebody who can bring it to life for me.
Well, you know, I have to admit that the song, a lot of your songwriting, I was telling you before we got on the air here, was just how much I'm impressed by not only your vocal range, but also the songwriting that you do is absolutely phenomenal.
Thank you.
And this song, particularly talking about how you're kind of, you know, untamed in a way. You can go quick. You can, whatever you got, I can do better. But, you know, I think it's so fun that horses is in your background. You sing about it. And it really shows the country flair.
Thank you.
Now, I want to play a game.
Okay.
So I'm going to turn this thing around real quick. So
you
can see it.
Okay.
So the way the game is going to be is types of horses.
Okay.
Can you see it there?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, so the types of horses I got on this game is you have the thoroughbreds, which is going to be your speedy, fast guys.
Race horses.
Exactly. You got your Mustangs, very similar to faster horses, right? Hard to maintain. Then you have, what's the other one I got down there? Clydesdales, the workhorse.
The big ones.
The ones that are just steady, ready to go. And then you got ponies. Okay, which is, I consider them the life of the party.
Yeah, they're. Can I swear on this?
Yeah, go ahead.
They're the little shits, honestly.
Well, that's a fact. Now, I'm going to give you some names.
Okay.
And then I want you to put that name with the type of horse you think it is.
Okay, I like that. Okay, cool. Let's do it.
All right, let's do it. So, first name I got is John Wayne. What type of horse is John Wayne?
He's a Mustang.
Ooh, why so?
I mean, John Wayne, like he's untamable. Like he's like the cool, mysterious type, you know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, let's go on to another one. I got Lainey Wilson.
Oh, I think she's a few different things. Can I do that?
Go ahead, give it to me.
I would say she's a Clydesdale because she works so hard for everything that she gets. But then she's also a Mustang. Like she's like, you can't hold me back.
Exactly. Yeah. I like that too. Okay, I got a few more in here. Let's do Martina McBride.
She's my favorite. Oh man. She's a thoroughbred. She's been going at this game a long time. She's like, and she's still at the top of her game.
Okay, now Sammy Adiaga.
I love Sammy. Sammy is, because I love him so much, he's a pony, but he's also a Clydesdale.
Yeah. Why did I know that Sammy was going to become a pony, man? The way I put ponies is they're the life of the party.
Yeah.
And Sammy definitely has the personality.
Always.
He is always the life of the party.
Yeah.
Shout out to Sammy Adiaga.
Sammy!
All right, now let me do a couple more here. We got Willie Nelson.
Ooh, he's outlaw, so he's a Mustang.
He's a Mustang too. What about Dolly?
Dolly's a thoroughbred. She's always going.
Ella Langley.
Ella Langley, she's a wild one too. I think she's a Mustang as well.
Where would you put yourself?
I would say a Mustang and a Clydesdale because I grind for what I'm going for, and then I'm also like, if somebody says I can't do something, I'm gonna do it times 10.
I love that. I appreciate you playing the game right there.
Of course, thanks. That was so cool.
Yeah, you know, I think it's fun because a lot of people, I had to do my research because I know of horses, but I don't know the names of the types of horses. So it was fun for me to kind of find a fun little game to do there.
Yeah, I love that. A little research for you.
Well, you know, speaking of research and speaking about fun games, we got to take a quick pause in this episode real quick to thank the sponsors of this episode, and we'll be right back after this.
This episode has been brought to you by Manscaped. The new Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra is every man's cheat code to look good, feel good, and turn the page on confidence this year. Go to manscaped.com, use the code GOLDS20 for 20% off plus free shipping today.
So, Shantaia, I'm curious to know where you're going to take 2025 from this point on.
Lots of new music in the works. Hoping to put out an EP, hopefully by the end of the year. But we've got for sure 2 more singles coming out. Yeah, we're not letting up. We're all gas, no brakes.
Speaking of all gas, no brakes, and the new singles that are coming out, so you have a secret behind your glasses.
Yeah.
Because your glasses give you superhuman powers.
Yes.
And isn't that going to be the next single?
Yeah, Rose Colored Glasses is coming out next. And I think I kind of owe it to everybody a little bit to like explain the glasses. I actually started doing it a couple years ago. I was playing Broadway gigs and I'd have a long day of whether it was recording or writing or something, and I'd have to go play the Broadway gig. So I put the glasses on almost as like a coping mechanism, but it just made everything brighter and happier. And it started out with like an orange pair of shades, and it just looked cool. And I was like, okay, like this, honestly, they make me feel way happier as soon as I put them on. So I wrote down like, I kind of said, like, they're like my rose colored glasses. Everything looks a little bit better when I put them on. And I wrote that down. I know there's been songs that have been written called rose colored glasses, but I think just it was a bit more of a unique perspective in that it's kind of become my person and my artistry. So I brought it to Ryan Sorstad and Kurt Chambers, and it was the second write that we had together. And they were like, yeah, we're in, because it's all about like your vibe. So we were able to kind of like just make that a thing, and now it's the next single.
But see, I love your glasses because first of all, it gives you it kind of sets your whole look together.
It ties it together. Yeah.
100%. Now, question, when you are looking for glasses, do you stick with a certain pair for a long amount of time, or are you open to trying different looks?
Open to trying different looks. I would say like it kind of started with a little bit more of like a circular bottom, and that was like the orange pair of shades, and I also have a rose colored pair of shades like that. And then I found these at a boutique in Nashville called Dirty Livin', and I get the most compliments on these ones because everybody's like, I love that I can still see your eyes, but there's still like the whole vibe. So so I've been sticking with these quite a bit lately.
Well, you know, speaking of eyes, and I was telling you about my damaged goods in this right eye right here where I can't look. So talk to me about your song Damaged Goods. I think it's such a fun song. It almost reminds me like if I was growing up, it is the perfect growing up song.
Yeah, I think it's kind of became an anthem for small towners. I'm from a small town of literally like when I was growing up there was 900 people. I had put out a bit of a pop country record back in 2023. And that was a song that kind of like broke things up a little bit. Posted it on TikTok one day, trying to test things out to see what would be the next single off the album. And it got like 1.7 million views, and all these people that were commenting being like, I'm Jenny and I'm Billy. And there's like specific characters throughout the song. And like Jenny gets pregnant at her homecoming, and you know, all these things, and just life throws curveballs at us. And so there was all these people that were relating to specific characters and their situations. And some of them were literally named Jenny or Billy. And they're like, and that's me. Like that happened to me. So it's pretty cool.
Everyone goes through the same things at different times.
Yeah.
I was talking to my girlfriend about it the other day that, you know, back when we were growing up in high school, you know, you would go to kickbacks and you would, you know, get some drinks, and there would always be a cop that comes and knocks on the door and everyone gets in trouble.
Yeah.
When that cop did the exact same thing.
Yeah.
The irony there, you know,
Right?
it's like,
Yeah.
I get that you're younger and you shouldn't be drinking, but bro, you did it too.
Yeah, truly. I mean, I feel like there's like definitely a higher percentage of police officers and cops that like got into the same trouble that like, you know, we were getting into. And but I will say I've met some pretty like cool cops that have like shown up and shut down a party and been like, you guys just like go home, get home safe, you know, like we get it. You're young, you're having fun. We did it too, like that kind of thing. But there's a few that like to crack down. I'm like, nah.
See, Damaged Good reminds me kind of like Friday Night Lights.
Okay, yeah.
And it's just because there's so many things that happen in high school and early college years where you don't ever think about the repercussions of your actions.
Truly.
And it must even happen in more small towns. From San Antonio, it's not really a small town.
Right.
It has a small town feel. But I've noticed this, and I'm not sure if you noticed the same thing, that people in your small town don't leave.
No, It's rare too. I feel like I was one of the only ones. Like in my small town, like a lot of people are still there. My brother's still there with his wife and their 2 kids, and I go back a lot, but I see the same people. Or there's sometimes where I see new people and they're starting their lives there with their kids and in this tiny little town, and there's so nothing wrong with it. I just craved more adventure and wanted to see the world. So most people stay, but some people leave.
Well, you've gotten to explore up to Nashville a few times. You've been to LA. You just came back to LA.
Yeah.
I would be so scared of flying right now.
Man, I luckily came back before a lot of the craziness started, but it has been wild.
Have you been watching the videos?
Yeah, some
or
of
like
them.
notice some of the videos?
Yeah, I've came across a few of them, and it scares the shit out of me. But because like as a musician, we're gonna keep traveling, and otherwise, like, how do we go and promote the music that we're putting out? But
did you see the inverted one? The one that just happened
in Toronto?
Yes.
Yeah. Actually, we had friends in town that couldn't get home. They were supposed to fly out the same day, and that happened. So their flight got canceled till Wednesday. They were supposed to fly out on the Sunday or Monday that it happened, and got moved to Wednesday. So it's crazy.
You know, it's even, there was a few things I noticed, and I'm guessing you saw the video of the guy that's walking out, right?
Yes,
of the thing.
I did.
All right. So 2 things. One is they offered $30,000 for the people, no strings attached, Delta said. No strings attached, $30,000, hoping that they don't sue. Now, what would be your price to not give it to Delta for that incident?
Oh man, I'm so Canadian. We don't really sue, so I'm surprised they even said that, because it's probably mostly Canadians on the flight. But
remember, you're probably never going to feel right in a plane again.
That's so true.
And I think about these humongous lawyers that get millions of dollars for a car accident.
Yeah.
Fam, your plane landed on top
Upside
of it.
down.
That ain't, you're never going to feel right again. And $30,000 is like,
that
doesn't seem like enough for me.
Yeah, that's not enough. I don't know I feel like you don't know until you're in that situation. You know what I mean?
I don't want to be in that situation.
Let's stay away from that. Yeah. But I don't know. What would yours be?
Well, first of all, like I said, if there are obviously lawyers that get millions of dollars for their clients from car accidents.
Yeah.
If that ever happened to me where the plane had any kind of incident, I may never fly again.
Right.
And you can't put a price on
safety
and being afraid of the quickest travel as of right now.
Right.
So you're going to have to be compensated for sure. I'm going after them. You just played a current something in January in LA. Give me the name of that.
The She Rocks Awards and the PRS 40th anniversary the night before.
What was that like? That's a lot of singing. I think you had like a 20-minute set, right?
Yeah, I had a 20-minute set at the She Rocks Awards. Honestly, I was coming off a high of playing the PRS 40th anniversary. So PRS Guitars, been endorsed with them for a few years now. And Bev Fowler had asked me about 6 months ago if I wanted to take part in the She Rocks Awards. And I looked it up and I'm like, damn, like they are like honoring, and they've been doing it over 10 years now. They honor incredible artists like Bonnie Raitt, and this year was Paula Cole and Christina Perri. And I looked at some of their previous years and I was like, wait, I get to open this? Like, whoa. So I had wrapped my head around that. And then a month before flying out, Bev goes, hey, we're going to have our 40th anniversary party the night before at House of Blues Anaheim. Do you want to kick it off? That was 2 songs. So it was just get in, get out. And
which 2 songs did you play?
I played Faster Horses and What I Wouldn't Do. So
that's another one we got to talk about.
Yes. So it was crazy. As I was sound checking, John Mayer showed up, side stage, listened to me sound check, said he liked me, like all the things, and just so sweet. Got to meet him after the show, and it was like another world. Like, it was crazy.
I'm not going to let you go past John Mayer.
Right.
John Mayer is probably one of the 2000s, like, everyone plays it. If you're studying, you play it. If you want to chill drive, you play it. If you want to listen to some darn good blues guitar,
Truly.
you play John Mayer.
Yeah.
So first of all, I got to know, how tall is he?
So tall.
Is he?
So tall. I was in these boots and he still towered over me. There's a photo on my Instagram if you want to go see how much taller. I think I was still like kind of like in his armpit, you know? So
Is he that tall?
Uh-huh.
What was he like backstage? Because John Mayer, I've heard a few things about him.
Right.
Number one is he's either really cool or he's really not cool.
He was so cool.
Yeah? Okay.
He was so cool. He was I mean, like I said, my sound check, he actually ended up late with LA traffic and they had me sound check before him instead of like way after him. And so he like stood side stage, listened to me, told Bev how much he liked me.
Is that nerve wracking? Did you see him?
I didn't see him, but I knew he was going to be arriving any minute. So I was kind of like trying not to focus on that, but knew in the back of my head that
so you're performing to a higher level probably than normal.
Oh, yeah, especially in a sound check. I was like, I'm going to sound my best in this sound check. There's nobody in this audience, but I'm going to pretend there is. He came out right before his show and was just like side stage, like talking to people and the people that were playing. And he was fist bumping and he was really, really sweet. And I mean, we were celebrating 40 years of PRS Guitars, and he's been working with Paul and that team for years, crafting guitars and crafting gear and stuff. So it was, I think, a celebration for him as well. And he popped champagne and did a beautiful speech, and then stayed on stage, took photos with fans and all of us on stage. He was so sweet.
I think he's one of those rare musicians, John Mayer, that can go in so many different categories.
Oh, yeah.
His guitar skills is out of this world.
Blew my mind. Like,
out of this world.
Even standing side stage watching him, the way that he just closes his eyes and feels it and still doesn't hit one wrong note. It's insane.
Does he look... I always see videos of him, and John Mayer always looks a little nerdy.
Yeah, he's a nerd in the best way. Like, I think he's honed his craft, and I think he gets to like be as nerdy as he wants to be. You know,
talk about blues and soul and some of the best, and also in Faster Horses is a beautiful guitar rip in there too.
Thanks.
But talk to me about What I Wouldn't Do.
Yeah, What I Wouldn't Do was really the first departure into this new sound for me. Like I said, I put a record out in 2023 that was pop country, and it was something that I had to do. Being Canadian, I was putting music to radio, and I felt like I was trying to play within that box. And I've always been a soulful vocalist, and have wanted to like rip a little more on vocals. And I've had producers be like, okay, less is more, like we want people to be able to sing along. And I just never felt like totally right with that. And so when I started writing with Kurt and Ryan, I just said to them, like, guys, I really want to go more soulful, more bluesy, more edgy. And they were like, yeah, we're in. Let's F shit up a little bit. And What I Wouldn't Do was the third song we wrote. We wrote a song called Bite the Bullet, then Rose Colored Glasses. And then I was working with Universal Music Canada at the time. And my A&R, Amanda, she was like, we need to find something that sort of like bridges the gap between those two other songs. Like, what can you do there? And we wrote that song. I sent it to her, and she was like, oh my God, it's like if Maren Morris and Chris Stapleton had a baby. That's
what
perfect.
I thought it was. I thought it was Chris Stapleton very much.
Yeah.
Man, and like now your look looks very like, with your voice being so soulful, with this new wave of sound that you're making where it's Chris Stapleton, but you have the look of like an Ella.
Yeah.
It is honestly starting to turn into this package that I can just see blowing up in 2025.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Was that the motivation going into this song, was trying to go for a Chris Stapleton type of sound?
Yeah, for sure. He's a huge influence of mine. I've been listening to Chris Stapleton since What Are You Listening To? That was one of my favorite songs. Actually, my cousins were in music as well and still do music, and they discovered Chris Stapleton before Chris Stapleton was winning all the awards. So when he was
with the Steel Drivers,
yeah, basically. He started doing it like at the very beginning before Tennessee Whiskey came out. There was a song called What Are You Listening To? And they showed that to me, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is like artistry, and like just makes you feel something without necessarily always saying a lot. I
cannot believe that Beyonce beat Chris Stapleton in country music.
I mean, I will die on that hill with Chris Stapleton all the way. Like, I just think that he is country music, and he's John Mayer in the way that he can like he can do anywhere in the lanes, but it still feels country. Like it feels like it's still within our Nashville community, and truly no hate, because Beyonce's from Texas, and
we love you, Beyonce. Do not take over. Don't do anything to anybody.
Right? we love you. Disclaimer.
Do you believe that lore about if you say anything bad about Beyonce, Beyonce will come after you?
My fiance believes it. So I don't know. He's kind of put some stuff in my head.
So, in Mexico, we have something called the Llorona.
Okay.
Which is the woman in black, which is that only comes out if you misbehave.
Oh, interesting.
So Beyonce, in a way, is kind of like the Llorona.
Okay.
She comes up, if you say something bad about her, she's going to take away everything from you. So you don't want to say anything wrong. So we love you, Beyonce.
Yeah. Disclaimer.
It's like every year, it's either Beyonce or Taylor Swift. If you say something wrong about Taylor Swift, the Swifties will come after you.
Oh my gosh, she's got an army.
Yeah. The Beehive, is it called the Beehive? The Beehive will come after you if you go after Beyonce. There's no winning.
Yeah, I know. I mean, honestly, to aspire to be that big, you know what I mean? When you've got such a loyal fan base that will die for you, that's pretty iconic. So I'm gonna bow down respect for that.
Have you come up with your name for your fan base yet?
Not yet. I feel like with Faster Horses, there's something maybe in there. We've been kind of actually with my new team, we've been tossing around some names for the name of my broadcast channel and stuff like that. So we're thinking about calling it the Corral.
Ooh,
so
I like that.
But I need to find a specific, if it's my Faster Horses or what it is, but something empowering.
I love that. And then, speaking of, you talked about Canada, and Canada loves country music, just like the UK.
Yeah, truly.
They absolutely love country music. It's because it's very country over there. We never think it, but they are.
They are, yeah.
So, but I also hear that the radio plays up and coming Canadian country artists. Is that true?
Yeah, totally. So we actually have this thing in Canada called CanCon, and the radio stations have to play, I think it's anywhere between 30 to 40% Canadian content.
Really?
Yeah. So it's literally written into some sort of law. I don't know all the logistics of it, but essentially if the song presents as 50% Canadian, when we're writing it and producing it and all the things, then it is considered Canadian content and fills that space in radio.
We talk about just music. It's never as easy as just making a song.
True.
You have ASCAP now, you have BMI that takes everything, and then you have, when you're in the writing room, you give dividends to the people that are in the room. I could just be walking into a studio, hang out for 20 minutes, and somehow, some way, I got a 0.1% of that song. Yeah. And it comes to you. Is that very strange that music isn't necessarily just make it. It's now all this music business side of it.
Yeah. I've spent years learning and understanding the music business when it comes to licensing and copyrights and all those things. And it's never as simple as it can be. It could be. I feel like they could make it more simple sometimes.
100%.
But at the same time, I feel like it's also, this business is always changing. We've got, social media, TikTok, and all these things, and now the radio is less and less chance of getting on the radio. So songwriters are starting to ask for master points, and there's just, the business is always changing. So it feels like there's never really any rules that continue to apply, and we keep having to switch up, which is frustrating sometimes because you're like, I just finally figured it out, and now you guys are switching up the game on me. So
I like that. Okay, real quick, I'm gonna tell you to bring up this little guy. Okay. I just did this this past season where I have random questions.
Yep.
And in those random questions, you will then get to pick whatever it is. So I want you to take a spin and let's see what you get.
Okay. Do you want me to face it towards the camera?
Oh, you can do that. Just make sure you read it out loud.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, that was terrible.
What's your skincare routine?
Oh my God, this is becoming I love this. I just started on a really strict skincare routine. I've struggled with acne for a lot of my life. Something I don't really talk about. I would never
expect that.
Thank you. I've been working hard with my girl Nicole from Ramaji. So I just started using, I've always used retinol.
I'm a guy, so take that with a grain of salt when you tell me this, okay?
Okay, yeah, you're like, this is, you shouldn't even put this one on there.
I mean,
You're not going to understand any of this.
It's important, man. You guys are in front of the camera, so tell me the skin routine. Go ahead.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So I've in the last since July, I would say I started really focusing on my skincare and upgrading a little bit from like the CeraVe products. Like I'm now using medical grade skincare.
I blame TikTok, really.
Yeah. It's it has helped, honestly. So I use Hydrinity. I use like a space spray, which is kind of like a toner, and I cleanse with La Roche-Posay. I think I'm pronouncing that right. The spray, and then vitamin C in the morning, retinol at night, the Alpha Ret from Skin Better Science, and then I endorsement Skin Better Science because you guys are expensive, and then they're also the Hydrinity,
Manifest it.
Yeah, Hydrinity moisturizer at night and morning. So
all that was Japanese to me.
I'm sorry, maybe somebody else will.
There's somebody that's watching your episode right now. I was like, yep,
I'm like, girl, I feel you.
Yep. And I don't know what it is. I cannot act as if a guy shouldn't have a skin routine.
Oh, my fiance doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, everyone does something different. Me, I don't know what it is. I guess I grew up in an era where you put water on your face and it is what it is.
Right.
But now in this day and age, everybody is very braggadocious with their skin routine.
Oh, it's so put to the forefront on TikTok. Everybody's like, everybody's like, what's your skincare routine? What's your skincare routine? And how do I get glass skin like that? And it's like Korean skincare. And there's just like all this stuff. And to be honest, I'm not that educated, and I've just only started to fully understand everything. But all I know is you got to put that retinol on at night because you want to avoid the wrinkles.
What about the red light?
I haven't.
Have you heard about that?
They're is that the masks?
No, we literally sleep with these lights that we have here. We have one upstairs, and it's at night before we go to bed. We turn on a red light.
Stop.
I swear, and I feel like Dracula.
Does it work?
I don't know. I mean,
does it work for your girlfriend? Yeah.
I don't know. We wake up very happy, I guess. But I mean, it's like every time we turn it on, this red light that we turn on before we go to bed, I swear to God, I feel like Dracula. And I feel like I'm going to just I'm going to
Is that helping your eyesight? Or is it your skin?
Look, these people are going to butcher me for me not knowing what it is. All I know is that we put a red light on. You go ahead and spin that.
Okay. All right.
Give it a good spin.
Try. That was still.
Okay. All right. What does it say?
Oh gosh, I can't read it. Most embarrassing moment on stage. Oh my.
All right. What is your most embarrassing moment on stage?
Okay. I was going to tell you something that happened this past summer, but it was more so before stage.
Okay.
So I'm going to start with the first thing I remember killing me when I was younger. When you're I think I was maybe 8 years old. I was playing guitar for myself for the first time ever in front of an audience. I had been taking lessons from my cousin for years already. First time accompanying myself. And the microphone, I was sitting on a stool and playing in front of a whole theater. My microphone started to slowly lower
down.
And I just kept going and followed it and just kept going down and down.
Why does musicians never stop? It's so weird to me.
I would stop now because I think I'm confident and I'm honed that craft and I can laugh about it over the mic and be like, LOL, we need to fix this. But then I was my first time ever playing guitar in front of an audience. So I just didn't know what to do. I was just like, I got to keep going. And then finally the stage manager came and side stage while I kept going, and she
you look like the Matrix going like this playing the guitar?
Basically I was doing limbo or something. It's just showing off a totally different
what happened backstage now?
Okay, this past year, and me and my girl Jenny can laugh about this now. She was her first time ever creating an outfit for me, and we didn't squat test the outfit, kind of a Lainey Wilson moment. I had this cool outfit on for Boots and Hearts, and it was two different denims. It was this green stretch denim and then this light blue denim. And it started to come apart at the seams.
What part though? Just right
all
here?
All of my pants from here to here to here.
Really?
Everywhere.
Really?
I'd put them on for a while, and I was I was in my trailer beforehand, and I was squatting down to there was this mirror on the ground, and I had to squat over, and I heard and I was like, wait, no.
Was that their only pair of pants that you had?
I had a different pair of pants, but it was like the look. It was like this whole custom outfit, right? So like it matched the vest, and if I wore the other pair of jeans, they wouldn't have matched the vest, and then I wasn't gonna wear what I wore for my interviews earlier that day, you know. So, and it was a quick trip. I like was in and out of Ontario back to Nashville the next day, so didn't really overpack. And my publicist and my TM that day, they were sewing. They found thread somewhere in somebody's car, and they were sewing 20 minutes before I had to be on stage. So that was embarrassing.
You know what? At least that didn't happen on stage.
Very true. It was like coming apart a little bit on stage. You can see it in some of the photos, but like it kind of looked like a vibe. It looked like this like black like.
Oh, so it kind of looked like it matched the vibe. Basically.
Kind of. I'm trying to convince myself of that.
All right. Well, let's do one more. Spin it from.
I know. I feel like I need to like. Side. Let me do
Here you
this.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Spin it. There you go. Ooh. Most memorable hate comment on social media.
Ooh, let me think about this for a second.
And that goes perfectly with my next question anyway. So
okay, great. Trying to think. This, I would say funny. This last one recently with the Faster Horses content, I've been posting on YouTube Shorts a lot. And this guy commented and was like, just trying to be another Shania Twain. And I was like, I love Shania Twain. First of all, I wouldn't take that as a dig, but I was like, he meant it as like a dig.
Yeah, so he's the one that really loves Shania.
Yeah, I was like, wait, I mean, I don't see many similarities other than we're both brunette, we're both from Canada, and Shantaia Shania, but like I was born with my name being Shantaia, so I can't really change that. So I just laughed, and I don't know if I responded. I think I might have, but I'm kind of in my like unhinged era where I like respond to people's like hate comments lately. So
well, you know, speaking of which, you know, your name is very synonymous with Shania Twain by the way it looks.
Yes.
How many times have people butchered your name?
I can't even count. It's to the point where like I don't correct people these days because it is what it is. And with the Shania stuff, this past couple summers, she's been playing a ton lately, you know, festivals and her residencies and stuff. I get tagged sometimes when they're meaning to tag Shania, and I think it's hilarious. And then there's been times where they meant to tag me on a festival show and they accidentally put Shania on there. So it's kind of funny. I hope maybe one day we can like laugh about it together.
Yeah, that's what's going to happen. Yeah. I'm manifesting that for you.
Same.
Okay, now my last two questions on the show, and everyone knows I asked this question, okay? So to the doubters, to the people that didn't believe in your vision, the folks that just didn't see it through.
Yeah.
I mean, how did you not let that that noise get to you and imposter syndrome? How do you not let imposter syndrome get into your mind? And how can you help them?
Right. I think that I'm very lucky. My parents always instilled a lot of confidence in me as a kid, and really supported this crazy dream. I don't think if I didn't have my family's support to let me vent through things, to let me be upset about things sometimes, you know, go have a meeting with some management company and they tell me I'm doing everything right, but then they don't want to work with me. It's just those kinds of things that like are hard to push past. But then you write a good song and you're like, and you get that feeling and that gut feeling. And so I think it's just always reminding yourself of that and building a community of people, whether it's family, friends, that keep hyping you up, because you just got to know like you're a badass and just keep on keeping on.
I think that musicians go with their gut feeling that is the personification of someone going with their gut feeling, is an actor, an actress, a musician.
Yeah.
But, you know, for the folks that are scared to go with their gut feeling, what would you tell them?
It's there for a reason. Like you get that feeling because it means something. So don't ignore it. Like lean into it.
I love that. Now, 2025.
Yep.
So we are filming this in the top of 2025. It's going to be out in the top of 2025. So what can the folks expect from you? And any upcoming shows, music videos, let them know.
Yeah, I mean, I've got 2 more singles coming out this year, hopefully an EP. So I've just been in the studio a ton, but we're finalizing some support act stuff up in Canada, hoping for some other things to kind of trickle in as well this fall here. hoping to head to Key West Songwriters Festival as well. Went there last year for the first time. It was the best time ever. So yeah, I feel like if you're wanting to see a show or anything, you're in Nashville, let me know. I play a lot around town, all the rounds, and you know.
What about CMA Fest?
CMA, I plan on coming back for CMA Fest because I might be out on tour in Canada, but they do have a window between CMA Fest and shows.
Do they contact you or do you contact them?
CMA Fest?
CMA Fest, to be under the CMA umbrella.
Yeah, so I am a CMA member. I was actually a part of the Whiskey Jam CMA Artist Academy, their first one recently. But I think you kind of have to start those conversations through team members a lot of times. They do have an application process, but I think I missed it. But that's for their Emerging Artist Showcase, which I would have loved to have been a part of. But you know, I think I was in LA when those applications closed.
There's so many things, but
got so busy.
But you know what? I'm excited for your. So we have a section on the show called Walk the Line, where it's basically we get to see not behind the scenes because you're going to be performing for us here in studio.
Yeah.
First of all, do you know what song you're going to be performing?
Do you have a request?
I mean, how about this? We'll make it a surprise here, but the way we tee it off is you look straight into that camera right there.
Okay.
You say your name and you say, "This is how I walk the line," just like the Johnny Cash song, "Walk the Line," after the applause, okay?
Okay, it's just, "This is how I walk the line."
Yeah, say your name and say, "This is how I walk the line."
Okay, let's do it.
All right. And 3.
Hey, it's Shantaia, and this is how I walk the line.
Might have a fastback Mustang, a midnight chap like McQueen thing. Say you got hand-stitched leather back seats, but your 0 to 60 don't impress me. You can't fence wild and free, can't tame tumbleweeds. 'Cause I'm always on the move through the open plains. I'm an outlaw on the loose, a rebel with no reins. I'm the storm you wanna chase, but you're always gonna lose. 'Cause I've got faster horses than you. Granddaddy taught me when I was a kid, don't let nothing slow you down, don't let nobody rope you in. So I ain't gonna let you win. Ain't no line I haven't heard, ain't no place I haven't been. 'Cause I'm always on the move through the open plains. I'm an outlaw on the loose, a rebel with no reins. I'm the storm you wanna chase, but you're always gonna lose. 'Cause I've got faster horses than you. I'm always on the move through the open plains. I'm a rolling stone in boots, and it hurts in my way. Oh, I'm the storm you want.